Mitigation, when you're trying to sell it to a politician, it's a tough sell. If you've read The Black Swan, he gives an example in there where he says, imagine if a politician had knowledge in, let's say, 1999 that September 11th was going to happen. And he passed, or tried to pass, a bill in Congress to fortify cockpit doors, to fly jets around New York and other major cities, to put more security in airports at a cost of, let's say, I don't know, $5 billion, and some of that was going to be borne by the airlines, and some of that was going to be borne by passengers and taxpayers. And September 11th comes, and nothing happens. And that politician can't really stand there in front of the World Trade Center and say, thank you very much, look what didn't happen. Thank me. Politicians really are short-term focused. They like to be able to stand in front of something and cut a ribbon and say, look what I built for you, look what we accomplished. It's much harder to say, look at the things that didn't happen because of what I did. One important fact is this one. It's that $1 spent on mitigation saves society an average of $4. So that's $4 down the road that doesn't have to get spent on cleanup, on evacuations, on all the things we saw, let's say, in Hurricane Katrina. Those costs could have been markedly lower if we had mitigation in place. So we're talking about retrofitting homes with windows, with doors, with, depending on the hazard, it may be in a seismic activity area where you're putting on stronger attachments, bolting things down. In flood areas, it may be elevating the house, as we saw with that picture from Lou in Galveston. And incidentally, those houses look like they're up on stilts. They really are. They have breakaway walls on the first floor. So the storm comes, just knocks away those walls, and you need about a 20-foot ladder to get to your front door. But the house is still intact. So this is an important fact, and I think that helps certainly with people that want to be fiscally responsible with taxpayer money. There are a number of places that are looking at trying to strengthen either building codes or put in state-level or federal mitigation programs to help people with the incentives that Lou is referencing, to get them to want to do this on their own and to help them do it. In Washington, we're looking at a couple of bills right now that have the most promise to do something along these lines. The first two are actually energy efficiency programs, so what Chris was talking about. Homestar is a proposal within the jobs bill that's currently moving through Congress, slower than they would like, but there's a proposal to do energy efficiency job creation. So just what Chris was referencing. Putting on energy efficient windows, doors, using contractors so you're creating jobs that way, giving people rebates to buy these materials, maybe new insulation, all kinds of materials. The common denominator is it has to in some way reduce the energy bill for the property. So we, and we being my company, some of your companies, and a whole host of environmental groups, conservation groups, conservative taxpayer groups have gotten together, formed a coalition called Smarter Safer. And this is one of the things we're promoting as the Smarter Safer Coalition, is if you're already going to go into a house, put in safe windows and doors, try and protect the house in terms of energy costs, how about also protecting it from getting blown away so all that money isn't wasted? So in many cases, those windows and doors, those roofing equipment you're putting on are going to be energy efficient and also make the home safer. You may just have to pick a different product. It may not cost anymore. But let's at least make that an eligible activity so that people are going to be safe in their energy efficient house. This, again, is the second energy efficiency idea. So in the big stimulus bill that we had last year, the $787 billion stimulus bill, there was a provision in there that also had job creation for energy efficiency projects. It was about $2 billion that were given out to the states. They went through what's called their weatherization offices, which gave lower-income people grants to do this sort of work. Of that $2 billion, last time I checked, about $200 million had been spent. And it's got to all be spent out by September, or it gets recaptured by the Treasury. So Senator Lemieux from Florida and others have said, well, if the money's not getting spent, why don't we actually repurpose it and give it to the same homeowners, but now let's do it for disaster mitigation, try and protect the home, and also, to the extent they want to keep using it for energy efficiency, let's do that, but let's help spend some of this money.